Hey, what's up, everyone? Dragon back again with another episode of the Kaiju commentary. On this one, we are watching 1967's Gamera versus Gyaos. Now, when you see the Dai logo appear on your screen, that is your cue to start listening to us. So, as always, we're going to kick things off in 3, 2, 1. Hello! Welcome to another edition of the Kaiju commentary. Today, we are watching Gamera versus Gyaos.
Gyaos!
And this, will now be our rather dramatic departure, if you will, from the tone set by the first two Gamera films into the tone that will basically carry through the rest of the Showa era of the Gamera films, which will be a lot more kid-friendly, because everybody knows that kids so regularly...
Kids and kaiju, they go hand in hand.
Yeah, and kids always save the day. Not adults.
Clearly.
Not smart adults with PhDs who study things and military types. Nope. Kids.
It's at Epcot.
It also is the introduction of perhaps Gamera's most famous nemesis, Gyaos.
Yep.
You're just going to do that every time, aren't you?
Yes.
Say it every time, and I will continue to say it. I love the 60s hair on the women in these movies. It's a hot look, man. Science!
I was going to say.
Just in case you want to know what this was for. Magnitude. I have the same kind of thing over my bed, if you know what I mean.
I don't.
And everyone turns off the commentary.
Goodbye.
Bye, folks.
Thanks for listening.
Yep.
I like how those guys are like, we have to be behind. Fuji-san? Oh, no.
It's a good miniature.
Yeah. That would be terrible if Mount Fuji erupted.
You know, it's funny. We always call these things miniatures, and obviously this is a miniature. It's not the actual Mount Fuji. But when you see, either footage...
Lava, though. That looks really cool.
Yeah, I know, the way they do it.
I'm pretty sure they're just lighting it.
Yeah, no, it's a lighting effect.
It's so good.
But again, like I said with before, these films have a smaller budget than Toho. I mean, Dai did not have the same kind of...
Oh, something tells me he's the main character, huh? The one child unseen.
Damn child. Stop looking at everything with wonder. And there we have Gamera. So right away, you're seeing that Gamera is now very much established in this world. And despite, yes, technically saving the day in Gamera versus Barugon, that was fresh off the heels of... I would do the Fat Albert voice, but I think it's too soon.
Oh, yeah.
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 Ruin the Cosby
Look
Show
at
for
that
me.
lava. Again, it's a good effect.
And again, it's... And adding, the little touches of fire.
Mm.
But yeah, no, it's one of those things where, Gamera really in that film was kind of a lesser of two evils, so...
I like how he's, waving his arms
around. I know.
It's like, buffet time!
And again... I still love how they put him on all fours. It's so cool, and it's done relatively well. And again, this is something that he only really did in the Showa era, and in the Heisei, I was never know how to quite say it.
His tea kettle roar.
By the way, can I just point out how badass he is that he just fucking just jumped in a volcano? He did that.
Oh yeah, all you can eat buffet.
He did that before Godzilla in 1984. Everyone talks about the beautiful swan dive Godzilla did in 1984. Nope, Gamera just strolled into it like a boss. But yeah, no, so...
The lava. I mean, the volcano that just erupted.
The lava.
It's a good idea. Sorry, I'm going to keep on interrupting you.
Yeah, you should be ashamed of yourself. But yeah, no, again, it's one of those things where, Toho, again, at this point had a lot of money, a lot more money than Dai, but it's, even though, yes, it's a cheaper effect, it's cool to see how the studio that had less money worked around. It's kind of like now if a studio who has hundreds of millions of dollars to do CGI, you could do anything.
It doesn't look cheap, you know what I mean?
No, I mean, it looks good for the time. Again, it's a difference between nowadays, the equivalent would be, okay, a studio who can just do something digitally versus a studio who has to do it with a practical effect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They have to kind of, okay, how do we kind of recreate the same look with
I guess
something?
you could just say good CG versus like really cheap PS1 graphics.
Yeah, even though I feel like if you don't have really good CG, you're better off doing a really good practical effect. Even if you can tell it's a practical effect, you'll still get more, points. But
You'll get more props because it's kind of like a prop.
oh, see what you did there.
I'll be here all night.
But again, so seeing how they have to use essentially less expensive practical effects and how they're able to pull it off, and I don't know, it just shows you the kind of the creativity and the ingenuity of the creative team behind the film, which is why I don't. All right, folks, you're gonna hear something loud in a second. There we go. Let me get my drink open so I don't dry heave and hack all over this commentary. You're welcome. I'm not going to tell you what I'm drinking because we're not getting sponsored.
It's lemonade.
You guys want to know who makes it? Let's get some lemonade sponsors up in here. Now, despite this starting to be the first film of the kind of, again, kid era, Gamera, friend of the children era of Gamera films. How many times can I say Gamera in one sentence? This still has a backbone of an adult story. The kid, yes, is our main protagonist, and ultimately will be the driving force in the story, but it's still built off a backbone of adults. You have this company. They're working. There's still an adult backbone to the story where.
Oh, there has to be.
Yeah, well, apparently not. It doesn't last for much longer.
Well,
this is kind of like. This is
okay. There doesn't have to be, but there definitely should be.
Yeah, I know these films.
Wow, that is not safe. Why aren't they?
I saw this scene for the first time when I was a really little kid on TV. And I was just watching this. I was like, oh, what's this? And then what's about to happen happened. I saw glowing light. I was like, what's that? And then this went down. And I flew a lot as a kid. We would travel back and forth from America to France. So I was airborne quite a bit growing up.
That's a pretty cheap laser effect, though.
And then I see this shit happen.
But that's pretty badass.
Yeah.
Damn.
No, when I saw this, I was scared.
I like how that one guy just jumped. Did you see that? He was just like, might as well.
X-Men powers don't fail me now. Seriously, when I saw that as a kid, I was like, wait, what? No, that doesn't happen. It's not allowed to happen when you fly.
Yeah.
Flying is a no-kill zone. But yeah, no, so that freaked the shit out of me when I was a kid.
Yeah. I wish the laser looked better, but the...
Listen.
It breaking in half, or getting sliced in half, looked pretty badass, so... She just had a body getting sliced.
I would say that's way too violent and graphic, but if you guys are familiar with what's coming in this franchise, you'll...
Is it the next movie?
Well, that's the thing. There's not a lot of, human fatalities, but my God, the kaiju in these movies get butchered you would think they're all a bunch of horny teenagers at Camp Crystal Lake because they just get straight up murdered.
Ambush! Oh, I'd be pretty scared too if I saw it walking towards me.
Yeah. Interesting enough, this is this kind of story, this corporation that's kind of, defacing kind of this area a little bit. It's kind of a similar story that you'll see later on in well, technically it's these Heisei era, Godzilla versus not Gamera. Wow, if only Mothra film. It's usually called Godzilla and Mothra Battle for Earth. It's the film with Batra, but it was the same kind of story where a huge corporation was, messing with the environment, and as a result, kind of the monsters were kind of a response to that. It's not exactly the same story, but it's kind of interesting. That film came out, several, about a couple decades later, if you will. And I was kind of wondered after seeing that film, did they maybe kind of sort of get the idea from this one a little bit? I don't know. It just made me think of that.
Yeah.
But again, stuff like this, a community against, a corporation moving in, doing things on their land, this and that, being displaced. That doesn't really strike me as something kids would really be interested in.
No.
So this is still very much like a carryover kind of narrative element from like the first two films. Where
They're just like, oh crap, we need kids.
yeah, but
Stick them in there.
I think this movie was kind of their test. It definitely had the kid thing going. It definitely leaned heavy on a kid. Even the way some of the adults act, it can sometimes be a bit more cartoon-ish, but it's still not full on yet. But this film kind of, did pretty decent for itself. And again, it's become one of the more classic ones of the Gamera, franchise. Because again, like I said, it introduces Gyaos. So I think with the fact that this film did, as well as it did, it kind of gave the studio a green light. Like, okay, we see that this angle works, let's go for it. And Toho, had already started kind of a little bit, toning down the darkness of the Godzilla films. They hadn't gone really full kid friendly yet, but
Is she cleaning that, or is she sanding that?
I don't know. All I know is her techniques needs work. Oh, anyone?
No.
Never said this is for kids, guys.
Wow, I wasn't even thinking about that. You just had to
Because
bring
you're
it to that
better
level.
than me, that's why.
That's safe.
I know,
That's
right?
safe. One of them just falls out in the front. They just keep running over him.
Jeez.
Why not?
Why not? Dun, dun, dun.
Yikes.
But yeah, so again, the kid stuff laid in, but the irony is, Gamera kind of became known for this for the longest time. The friend of the children, the children's kaiju. We all have kind of heard these terms of if you're familiar with kaiju films, or even if you're starting to get into them and you're really just trying to learn as much as you can about them, Gamera is one of those names that are gonna, it's gonna come up for you. And probably one of the first things you'll hear about Gamera is, how he's a children's kaiju, this and that, even though his more famous films are in the 90s. Oh, they got kryptonite in there.
Who farted? Dude, do you know how much gold would have to be in there for it to look like that?
Yeah, but gold doesn't glow green either.
Well, no.
So there's a lot of something in there. It ain't gold, folks, sorry. Unless that vein of gold, turned into like a Hulk vein, like it's not gonna do
God.
that.
I like how none of these guys with helmets on. Well, that guy doesn't have straps, but none of them have the straps on.
Ow.
Oh, rude. Hey, you little shit.
I know, this just got weird. Oh no.
Is that actually his dad, I hope? Because otherwise it's very creepy.
No,
No.
That's not his dad. Sassy kids.
Jesus.
Again, to be fair, the kid in this movie still acts like a normal kid. Again, he just
Shithead.
well, yeah. He feels like a kid dropped into this situation, so it works, as opposed to later on where the kids become. I know we keep talking about what's coming later on, but it's important to kind of understand like where this film fits, in kind of the history of Gamera, because this film really is a transition. You're seeing things that will become very commonplace very, very soon.
Yeah.
While still kind of clinging to the past. I think that's why. I think this is depending on which Gamera you like
He has
more.
a slingshot.
Yeah, of course. Again, I think this film still works. It's not as adult oriented. It's not as dark as the first two, but the kind of some of this elements, I'm not gonna lie, with a kid, it reminds me a little bit of like some of like the '80s movies where like it was more kid friendly, something like.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this movie is as good as like E.T. or something like that, but kind of where it's like it's a very kind of serious situation with where a younger protagonist,
like from a child's perspective.
yeah,
Almost.
and it works. It's it's not like a kids movie, but it is a like you said, a movie where you see it through the perspective of a child. Whereas later on, they are very much kids movies.
Yeah.
Everything works on kids' logic, and you'll see when we get to those. And by get to those, I mean just hang tight. Kid's a dick. Look at him. But yeah, no, I mean it won't be long before we get to those. But yeah, I guess that's a good way of putting it. A kid's movie versus a movie through kind of the perspective of a kid. And if you want to know,
I'm kind of a pussy. I don't know.
Yeah, I know, right?
Maybe you better go in, kid.
Why are any of you going at this?
I know.
Yeah, what the hell is wrong with
That
you?
tiny. Is he holding a lighter?
I see a dark enclosed space in the natural geology of the land, and it's glowing green. I'm like, F that noise, I'm out.
Yes, let the child go first. That makes sense.
Let somebody with like body armor and a gun go first. How about that?
Mm-hmm. Or just don't go. Seriously, why does he have a lighter out? That's not gonna help you. Little pansy.
Even the bat was fucking scared. Yeah, I think he screamed.
I think that was the guy.
Oh God, get out of here! It scared me. What an odd place. Yeah, really.
We better keep going in though.
You're picking up on that vibe too, huh?
Yes, yell child. That makes sense. The kid's just like,
Help me see and then run, stupid. I never said I'm scared. I can't move. When I was a kid, I was scared of something. I fucking ran as far and fast as I could in the opposite direction. That was my most efficient way of making myself less scared.
I'm such an awesome adult. I just left that poor kid in there by himself, and I'm hiding out here, hugging this tree, because I'm scared.
Tree hugger.
Oh no, I left the child in there.
Oh. Going up.
Oh.
Couldn't resist, folks.
Oh.
Hi. Wow, he's really high.
So,
It was just so sudden dramatic.
What was he standing on though? Like, how would he not notice? Like,
Part
his
of it or
face?
something. I don't know.
Like,
something.
How would you not see and or hear and or feel that?
Listen, we've already established in these movies that, like, yeah, we got back in Godzilla or Ebra, Horror of the Deep, where, like, Godzilla was literally just sleeping, like,
I wish they had,
30 meters away and they didn't hear him. Like, it's the
I
same
guess
kind
I'll
of...
wait till we see the whole thing.
What were we going to say?
No, I was gonna say for the Gyaos. I'm saying that right? Gyaos?
Gyaos.
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 But, I wish his face didn't just look like foam triangle, because that's, like...
Because that's probably what it was made out of, so...
I know, foam triangle.
Again, like I said...
I'm glad they tried to do a different, body shape, I guess, you know what I mean? Like a different silhouette for a monster. But...
Again, if you watch him... Oh, there we go. Again, if you watch him in the 90s film, they make him look better. But again, you got to remember,
well, I know. Obviously, this is the first appearance. He looks much better later. But I think, honestly, too, it's because, again, this is getting more into character design or creature design. But, like, you never see straight geometric shapes like this. Or, like, they're not organic. So he looks like he's made.
I mean, you could make the argument, too, that, it's a kaiju, so it's supposed to have kind of this slightly unnatural feel. But again, I think it was due to the limitations of what, you know.
And I guess to kind of separate yourself.
Yeah.
Again, it's not a bad design. It just doesn't look... Oh, no, I'm stuck.
I mean, winged kaiju have always been... I do love the front, like, how it's like this almost like crown crest. Again, once later films, when they kind of make it a bit more organic, it definitely gets better. But I still love, even here, the kind of...
Tiny little fingers.
Front silhouette.
It's like, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
Again, he's essentially like a big bat, which I really dig. Again, he's a cool...
It's just so flat on top. I just wish it wasn't as flat, or it had more detailing.
Again, I kind of think...
I know I'm being super picky because it's the first design, but...
And it's one of those things, too. It does give him kind of a natural look. Yeah, and that could be part of it, too, is like, he is distinctive because it doesn't look natural. So right away, it feels like...
Honestly, I think it's just, like, from the profile is when it looks the weirdest.
I think he's tickling him.
I know.
Oh.
And you just...
Again, though,
see these guys now?
It is one of those things where it is kind of the only folly of these films.
Thank God he's nice enough not to crush him.
I just love this whole look, though, right here. It's like... Because if you think about it, they're so... And again, like Toho, I like that Dai has been experimenting with these designs. Even Gamera, he's on all fours for a good chunk of the time.
Yeah.
Barugon was another quadruped, and I like how Gyaos is a flying kaiju. You know what I mean? It's... They're not just...
It just looks like he's, like, on one of those bull rider things, bars and stuff. It's the kaiju one. You would ride that.
Hell yeah, I'd ride that. Gamera almost, for me, kind of feels like a big bear. Mm-hmm. Like he can go on all fours, but ow.
Oh my God, see? Look at that. That's fucking brutal.
That's a deep cut. Ow. Yeah. That's a knife. And he keeps getting him, too.
I know, I'm like, Gamera, move. Move, Gamera. Stop letting him do it, Gamera.
Okay, he clearly has no intention of stopping. I'm going to continue to stand here just in case you see the error of your ways. And I'm like, no.
He shouldn't have an arm right now. It should be gone.
It's a bit meta for what comes, like 20 years later.
Right.
Oh, when in doubt.
I know, right? Fucking boogie on out of there. Fuck that kid.
Turn into a giant flying bludgeoning instrument.
Or that. I came in
like a Get the fuck out of
here. Good catch. That was actually a pretty decent
there you go.
Nice. Is it getting hot in here, or is it just me?
Jesus.
So toasty.
Gamera's like making him talk to the hand as he's shooting him with fire.
I know.
It's pretty boss.
It's actually terrifying, because I'm like, how did they not burn up the set, or did they do the fire separately?
No, if you look at it, it's very much in the foreground. So it's not actually making contact with the background. It's meant to look like it's...
He just eats the kid.
Oh, if only.
What is that? Oh. Why was his hand tiny?
So, not the place I would want to be.
No.
In a Gamera Gyaos fight. I just want to...
Thanks, Gamera. Oh, he's just gonna fly
out? The heat from those things alone. Gyaos is like, fuck that.
Yeah. The heat on top of the fact that when he gets going, the speed
Suspension of disbelief! Again.
The miracle of children.
Look, you see, now this is the moment where you kind of feel...
He just goes into the lava again. Oh.
At least he's not spinning. But see, it's stuff like...
Hey, look, there's no wind.
The kid's smiling. Bullshit.
I know, right?
But again, this is where you kind of see, okay, a bit
just
more...
being that close to the top of the volcano.
Well, yeah. But again... This is where the kid element kind of starts kicking in a little bit. You see, it's like, okay, first of all, would you
really just be sitting there and wonder?
Yeah, stuff like that.
You'd be fucking shitting yourself, let's be real.
Yeah. And let's not forget, this is the same Gamera that literally murdered thousands, if not millions of people in the first film when you saw them literally being burnt alive.
But it's fine. It's fine.
And again, that's my point. And again, to be fair, they do it with the Godzilla films too. So I'm not saying Dai is the only one guilty of this, but that's what I'm saying. Something like this would not have been seen in the first two films. So already you're seeing the transition, but it's still pretty balanced. I'd say. I mean, tonally, this film is pretty consistent. It kind of lets you know right off the bat that it's not going to be as super dark or as serious as the first two, but it's still going to feel like the Gamera movies you've kind of known. This one does. Afterwards, not so much.
Stop yelling at me.
It's gonna be fun though when you're an actor like that. You tell them, okay, now you are on Gamera's back. Like that's what this.
That's cool. They actually made the giant scales.
Well, yeah, no, I'm just saying,
Again, the composite shots aren't the worst. They're pretty decent.
Well, that's what I'm saying. For this film doesn't.
Why wouldn't you be standing? Why would you be crawling like that?
It was high up. He's probably like,
I guess, yeah,
nervous and like vertigo.
But he was fine when they were flying, you know.
Because there was wonderment then. There's no wonderment now. So Gamera was able to reach up behind himself and put him on.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why can't he just pick him up now and like?
Listen, you're being unreasonable.
I'm just saying he could put him up there, but he can't put him down.
It's okay, Gamera's just trying to help out. Thanks, G-Man. Let's be real, Godzilla's G-Man. He's like little G.
I love the deep rumbles that Gamera does.
Mm-hmm.
I like how the eye moves too.
Mm-hmm. The veins on the side.
Good, there's some nice details and nice touches
and
here.
And their eardrums are bursting.
Yes, and now no one hears ever again.
Dude, his mouth would smell so bad.
Yes, but think about it. He eats fire, so it kind of naturally sterilizes itself, so you wouldn't really have, like, rotting meat in there.
Yay, he's gonna fucking burst everything into flames around him now. Thanks, buddy.
Could have got a walking start there, but we walked away a couple blocks. It's still a cool visual just to see that.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how the films, like you look at the sky, like the way they did map it, it kind of has like a darker kind of tinge to everything. Again, stuff like this, you know, people would be wanting to talk that, you know, I just kind of feel the kid would be a bit more traumatized, but...
Yeah.
So again, there are moments about this that are like, okay, at least with this, they're still doing a situation where the kid is dropped into the adult situation. As opposed to, you know...
So he just gave Gyaos his name too? There we go.
Yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, well, we were all there, kid. We don't need you to tell the story. But it's kind of sweet how he named Gyaos. Like, it's very childlike. You know, I call him Gyaos because that's the kind of sound he makes. Mm. And I kind of love how they just go with it. Like, what the hell not. But the irony is, I've always said, like, if stuff like this happened, the first person who goes on TV and just says a name, it kind of would stick, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter if, you know, zoologists or biologists would come out after and give this super scientific name, you know. No. The first person who called it, you know, Blooglablar. Well, from that moment on, history would show the monster Blooglablar, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, it is kind of how it would work, and quite frankly, it's like, dude, people really want to, like, spend all this time trying to figure out what the hell to call it. Like, what do they call it? Gyaos? Fuck it. Let's call it Gyaos.
Yeah.
Works for me. Anyway.
Also, I like how they just let the kid be here. I'm like, yeah, they would just get the kid's statement. They wouldn't let him in on this meeting.
Well, again, and that's...
I know.
That's what I'm saying. But you're seeing the shift. So you're seeing, like, all this right here. This is still very much like the adult or again where they're having the meeting, they're talking about the science. But the kid's there. You know what I mean? Like, the kid would not be there. And you're about to see some really scientific anatomy work here in a minute. Wait for it.
Yeah.
Look at that skeleton.
Oh, God. That's painful.
I love how he's literally, like...
Why has he got two neck
vertebrae on top of one giant spinal column?
But they're, like, next to each other and then split for no reason? He can... Never mind. Never mind.
It is interesting though with Gyaos though, because later on in the trilogy in the 90s, like they really flesh out what Gyaos is, and it's actually really, really interesting.
Yeah.
So he's a cool monster who gets a lot cooler over time. guy has a super serious voice. He kind of looks like the Japanese colonel. Is anyone else getting this?
He's just not got white.
I was just looking at him like...
He's a young colonel.
Yeah, put him in the white suit. Look at him. You can just see him offering people buckets of fried chicken.
We'll go to Akihabara and find a statue.
You know, it just seems a little like... I'm pretty sure the guy with the headset heard the first guy.
I know.
I'm just saying. I mean, he wasn't... The other guy wasn't too far away. He kind of yelled. I'm pretty sure we didn't need this whole, like, chain of command thing. I love how close they are to that thing. I would be having our secret meeting way far away from this. So you guys are having this big, heavy-duty military attack, like what? Like 10 miles away? If you're close enough where you get like a front row seat through your window, I think you're a little close, guys.
I know, right? I'd be like, no, thank you. You can take this elsewhere.
I just love how it slices through. It feels more like a bladed weapon the way he wields it. You know what I mean? I do like the territorial kind of aspect of it, though. How Gyaos has kind of like staked his claim, like, you know, this is my mountain, this is my spot. It really does feel like a big animal that's just kind of, you know, kind of like a big predatory bird that's just kind of nested in the area. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So they just left that kid at the center when everybody went home. You just stay here, kid. It'll be fine. I can hear the child. His love and encouragement is gonna make me better.
God, stop yelling. Came to the bottom of the fucking ocean just to get away from you.
It's a nice effect, though.
No, it really is.
Oh, yes, I thought about you. Oh, my God. His hand's on fire. What?
I do like how Gamera does take punishment, though.
Mm.
Again, a lot of times Godzilla seems very impervious. There's been a few instances where you see him like he takes physical damage. For the most part, he doesn't really show any kind of physical wear and tear. Whereas Gamera gets hurt. Like Gamera, like, you know, I don't know. Gamera is like a kind of like a junkyard boxer, man. He gets rough, he gets down dirty, and he takes some lickings. He's not completely impervious to the monsters he fights.
I like how they waited to answer him. Whew, sorry.
Oh, bless you.
Thank you.
Why do you people still live here?
I know. Why won't you have evacuated?
I know. It's like, oh, Gyaos is there. Yeah, Gyaos is there. Why are you? Like,
you saw
go.
his fucking lasers. You saw him take out that airplane.
It's just like just literally a giant monster living in your backyard. It has killed people. It has.
If you're close enough to see that glow, you're too close.
Yeah, it's attacked a kid. It's like destroyed military. It's like, why are you still there?
So what, did Gyaos just come down and fuck up the house a little?
Well, he's feeding on, like, you know, the animals. Again, exhibiting, despite being a kaiju, he's exhibiting kind of very, you know, animalistic behavior. Again, a large predator that's kind of staked his claim in an area and just, you know, kind of feeding naturally.
Jeez. Somebody has to calm down.
Again, it's funny because again they're still showing you like this divide between the workers and the townsfolk. And again, I'm like, there is literally a giant monster living like right up the street from you guys, and you guys are worrying about like, oh, we don't want to sell this stuff to you guys because you're the, and we can't buy stuff from you. It's like, who gives a shit? Get out of town, like, go.
You know what? They're dedicated workers, okay? Yes.
But at the same time, kind of like now how Gamera's just kind of known and accepted, you could argue maybe this film universe is kind of creating this kind of climate of kaiju are real and we kind of deal with them and they're kind of a part of life. So when one shows up, you don't just throw away your whole life. You kind of deal with it. Again, it's a bit quick when you're considering how the last film ended up, where this kind of thing really wasn't normal. But at the same time, it is kind of an interesting notion to think like, okay, well, after a while, you know, when you live in a world where giant monsters exist, there would be some degree of normalcy returning after a while.
It'd take a while, but you would have to adapt.
Yeah, I mean, not normal, like, oh, things are going to go back to normal, but, you know, how you define normal would change, because, again, it's like, okay, they're here, and they're clearly not going anywhere, and we clearly can't do anything really to them, so do we all just, you know, jump off a bridge and end it, or do we just kind of go on with life and just kind of accept that this is the reality now, that every so often one of these things will show up and we're going to be in its shadow and we have to just try to work around it, you know?
Yeah.
So it is kind of a very curious scenario this film kind of presents in that sense, but I'd still be getting the hell out of Dodge. I don't care.
Yeah. Like, this shit ain't worth it, that's for sure.
It's like, oh, well, it's normal to have giant monsters now. Yep, well, it's going to be normal for me to move around a lot because I'm going to start buying some stock in U-Haul.
Look, can we just not work with the giant monster nearby, please?
I should point out too that Japan has always been kind of a very fast growing culture and society. So while this might seem a little trivial to, like, what, you know, maybe Westerners, you know, oh well, they're not just not going to finish the row, we're just going to leave. You know, for Japanese workers to not finish what they start, like for like a construction project to not be completed, because Japan is very committed and dedicated to any task. You know, they put forth. There's very much this culture of like a very hard working ethic, like, you know, and it's considered you little shithead. It's like Children of the Corn.
I know.
But again, this ethic of, like, you know, working hard and taking what you do, no matter how seemingly trivial, very, very seriously. So for them to just kind of abandon this job, this construction gig, essentially, it has a much larger connotation to it, and it kind of shows you just, you know, if you're an audience in Japan seeing this, it kind of shows you how big of a deal this is.
Yeah.
Like, if you weren't aware of that by the fact there's a giant flying killer kaiju. But you know it's serious because that happened. Yeah. So again, to Western eyes, it might not seem as, you know, impactful, I guess is the word. But if you were in Japan, and even to this day, that scene would kind of hold it would hold greater meaning to you. It would have a lot more weight to it. Which is why I always say to people, if you're getting into kaiju films, you know, don't be really, you should learn as much as you can about Japanese culture and Japanese history, because having a good grasp of that really kind of heightens the viewing experience of these films, because so much of that plays into why things are done the way they are and why characters will sometimes do what they do. But yeah. This message brought to you by...
Man, I can't even imagine the electricity bill for all that.
I think the freaking electric bill is the least of their worries right now.
I don't know.
Again, I love how they're just hanging out, man.
What's happening?
Early dubstep.
Right?
Again, see, all this kind of stuff here, it feels a little bit more, cartoonish, I guess. Mm-hmm. I mean, the last film had a guy murdering people for money and, beating up women.
Yeah. Why would you sleep there? Hey guys, where's the party at? I don't think you need the signal. Can't everybody hear his freaking loud ass roar?
I know.
That'll definitely help. Not the giant monster that's right there. What are you fighting against? Do you even know?
Damn, dude. Oh, no wonder those guys felt safe to sleep there.
I guess.
I didn't realize the entire, you have the entire self-defense force is just, ooh!
Ouch.
Even I felt that. Look at them ha 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 ha. Yeah, no, I feel good about sleeping there too if I had an army of tanks.
He's like,
the Phantom of the Opera.
Right? He's there inside your mind.
It is a cool visual, though, this giant thing with wings. He looks so grand, when he opens up his wings like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I like him,
Oh, is he supposed to be...
Like the wind.
Oh. I don't think wind works like that, but okay.
I like how passive-aggressive he is about being blown away.
I know. And how slow motion it was. Oh, no.
Little Rodan action here.
Yeah.
But again, if you think about it, it is probably going to be one of the most effective weapons flying kaiju can have.
That face. That guy's face.
Look, it looks like a jet engine.
I know.
This looks like a 747 right there.
Mm-hmm. See, again, why didn't you evacuate sooner? You know he could fly, right? He had wings.
Listen. That's cool. That'd be so scary.
Yeah, it would.
See, someone was...
But at least he's not doing a Rodan and destroying everything underneath him.
Well,
okay, well, a little bit.
Someone recently I was talking to on Facebook, even saying that flying kaiju are the scariest, and I'm kind of inclined to agree. I mean, just damn.
Well, he's got his slicer power, so
that's what I'm saying. The fact that he can just, I mean, think of how much distance he can cover and how fast he can do it.
Not the trains.
Yeah, trains and kaiju movies always have the worst luck.
And this is a bullet train. I think that's not even the normal.
That's cool right there.
Mm-hmm.
I love the wind effect.
Oh. Hey, at least he was nice enough just to take the top off. He didn't, murder everyone inside.
I love this. I love every time like a lot of these kaiju movies have the moment. I know. These moments where the kaiju just goes rampaging through a city. It's like, again, that'd be just so terrifying to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Again, when you get past the limitations of the suit, how Gyaos actually looks is terrifying.
Gotcha. Oh, I got myself a little snacky snack here. I like how they don't actually show it. It's like, no, we're not gonna show him eating.
And then I do like how they show again, the motivations of the monsters in the Gamera films tends to be a bit sometimes more clear, whereas they're showing more of like a, I don't want to say life cycle, but like a biology,
like an instinctual need, I guess, to eat.
Gyaos is clearly predating upon people. Like, it's very clear he's eating people. He's essentially a giant bird of prey, basically. He's
like, you gathered everyone up for me.
I will say though, the way his head is shaped, it kind of gives him more of an aerial than it kind of feels like okay, because again, he looks more like a jet flying and less like a.
I'm sure that's what they kind of are
going
for,
like an aerial animal. So it kind of feels like he's supposed to be really streamlined when he flies.
You're just casually cruising along.
Smoke in the background. Oh. Drive by. Hey.
He's just sitting there.
It's like a Universal Studios ride. I would love to go on this ride, by the way.
Jesus. I forgot about this scene. Because he doesn't, how is the car still driving? It's not like the wheels conveniently didn't come off.
Yeah.
Finally. Okay.
It's incredible how he's able to, cut these cars at, surgical precision.
Give him a job. Put him to work.
I would let this guy, freaking operate on me. My God.
I know. I forgot that scene was in this movie. I'm dying. Gamera's here to save the day. He's like, bring it on, motherfucker. I'll blow you out. Oh, he did. He did blow him away, huh?
Yeah, but Gamera's got, jet engine. He's using, jet propulsion. Gamera's got, post-industrial
Gamera, why'd
revolution.
you never come out? Just, bash him. Run into him.
Gamera lands with style.
Not today.
I was wondering, how does Gamera see?
He doesn't. He senses. Maybe he just doesn't get motion sickness, okay?
How does Gamera sense?
Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. He's like, nom, 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 I'm gonna eat you. Whoa.
Oh.
Shut down.
Well, Gamera's still hanging in there.
Too slow, motherfucker. Look, everyone's just watching.
See, this is what baseball was like. I actually go watch baseball.
Right? Good thing he can hover.
Just add a bunch of all those ESPN graphics all around the screen and
those gameplay.
Yeah, but I can get behind this.
That's one way to do it. How is he flying upside down? Ew. Gross. Is he farting on him? Oh. No. So gross. That's why his name's Gyaos, because it's gross.
Wow, really?
Yes. Ew. Maybe it's pollen. He's giving, Gamera suffers from seasonal allergies, so.
Better not turn into a freaking Claritin commercial.
Claritin. Maybe he's kind of a Zyrtec turtle.
The KAIJU commentary is not affiliated with by.
Jesus Christ.
Oh.
They should have made Gamera skip like a stone on the water. It's like he's laughing. Oh,
got him.
Nope. See, that's why I don't go swimming in deep water.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time Gamera like drowned another monster. He's like, hey, it worked in the last movie. That's great.
Right.
Again, I like how dark the background looks. See, stuff all like this. This does not feel like a kid's movie. Again, like, this still feels like the Gamera movies we've come to know. So, like I said, I mean, the moments where it feels like are kind of far and few in between. I mean, the kid is there, but he's not ultimately, like, the crux of the story. Not yet, anyway.
No, like a vampire, he shall turn to ash. But not really.
Now implying that Gamera is a nocturnal creature.
Oh, look, his head's glowing. It's like, my brain's gonna explode! Hang in there, buddy. Jesus, he's like a pit bull. He's just not letting go.
I know. Well, let's say Gamera's like... Gamera's scrappy. Like, he does not, like...
Oh, how is his head... Oh, it is getting sliced open. Ow. Oh, God. He just fucking ripped its foot off, guys. He ripped its foot off. It's like, no, I got dinner. Or I guess it'd be breakfast, huh? Come back here, you wuss. I'll beat you.
Again, look how brutalized they get. Like, again, I love that. I love how kind of, like, these films get violent. Like, the Gamera fights are legit violent. And that's kind of what they kind of become famous for, too. Again, the whole kid angle, yes. But also just how violent these movies can be. Like, these Gamera fights, like, and they get more extreme, too, as they go along.
I wonder what that could be, guys.
That'd be scary.
So you had to get that close to see it just to run away? I like how it's floating, by the way.
They could be buoyant with, like, gas and whatnot.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yes, that's unrealistic. We just watched giant monsters fight, and there's a piece of one floating in the water. Alex says it's hard to believe. I don't really think anything is that hard to believe anymore. Look at what we're looking at for starters. Now we're seeing some of the lair.
My poor foot. I mean, that does suck, to be fair. At least it wasn't his whole foot. I thought it was. Just his toes. Ew. He's like Piccolo.
Mr. Piccolo!
He's like, bitch, you thought.
Again, difference from Toho, where a lot of the kaijus are just straight up, like, invulnerable. Here, they can be damaged, but they can regenerate. Which I guess you could make the argument, too, is like, it kind of gives them a bit more of a realistic feel. Because, like I always say with these films, you're being asked to believe a lot with the idea of a giant monster. So if you can, I mean, granted, nothing really, it's not, you could say it's unnatural for something to heal like that quickly. But still the concept of something healing when injured as opposed to just not being injured, you know, you could argue maybe is a bit more believable. I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying it's kind of I think it's cool that Dai kind of took a different approach.
Yeah. They're like, the purple lighting really makes it look cool.
Dance, magic dance.
Guys, you're gonna lose your specimen if you keep that shit up.
Just found a great new weight loss Who knew? Just shine purple light on people, and that's all it takes, folks.
Let's go buy some ultraviolet.
Oh, here we go. It didn't take long.
No, it just takes a little... Oh, is he going to smash his head into that? Oh. Oh, good job, buddy. He's like, motherfucker!
Oh, I know that feel. I know that feel.
You're like, if I don't move, I'm going to hold him in
Yep,
rage.
yep.
Like,
I love that.
Sucker!
A little bit of characterization in the kaiju.
Hey, man, to be fair, that does suck.
That does
suck. It's like
suck.
that time I stubbed my toe, and I'm pretty sure I sprained it, and it hurt for weeks.
Yep.
Feel you, bro. Feel you.
I love how he looks like a potbelly.
I know.
He's a little bit more well-fed there in that photo. I think the artist is a bit generous with some of the proportions.
Or maybe they just, skimped him when they made the suit. They're like, nah, man, you're not well-fed.
Oh, that's the original concept art.
Clearly. That was the one thing they went off.
Well, in all, they did a pretty good job. That's all they had to go.
I don't think luring out at night's a good idea, seeing as it, is good at night.
I know.
Why wouldn't you do it at, an hour before sunrise or something? Trick him.
Yeah, so let's bring him back.
Clearly, this child can just burst into here.
Again, I guess you could argue, okay, they're not really taking the kid too seriously, but again, it's a question, how did the kid get in here?
That's my point. This is clearly, a military place, I would assume.
Well, yeah, it's been kind of retrofitted into, a military installation, so I'm kind of like, okay, I don't know if you guys know about, military installations, but...
This is not how it works.
Yeah, not anyone can just,
waltz in.
Stroll in. It's kind of a...
Why are you holding his hand, child? Make him dizzy?
Again, see, the kid stuff, good idea, kid. This room full of really, really intelligent adults didn't think of the...
I was just gonna say that.
I know how we can beat the monster. Make him dizzy. That's my point. So you just saw that really brutal fight in the city, and then it cuts to this where it's like, hey, let's take our cues from the kid. Let's make the monster dizzy.
That's a terrible idea.
It's just like, really? Let's not nuke him. Let's not create new kind of super weapons. No. Let's give him motion sickness.
What was he talking about? There's one above here. Oh my god, are you kidding me? They're gonna use the fucking ride.
Yeah, it has been a minute since you've seen this, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly only remember that car scene after it happened. That's the only thing I really remember. I remember the next movie much better.
I watch these movies at least once, twice a year. It's funny, when you sit by and watch yourself, you just kind of... You lose... And again, it is true, to be fair. It's like, if you judge it from a kind of an external view, it's like... You point out, you can't help but point out the kind of the lapse in logic. But if you're just watching it, you buy into kind of the world this film is kind of creating for you, and you believe it. Yeah, clearly the kid's got a good idea. Let's do that. Kid who should never have been allowed into this facility in the first place.
Probably should have died.
Think about it. This whole plan is based on some kid just saying something, where then all the adults are like, oh, yeah, huh, I guess that would work, huh, guys? We should totally do that. Let's base this entire military operation off, some shit some kid pulled out of his ass. And they're like, yes, let's do that.
He's right.
But again, that's my point where you're seeing kind of the shift from
the future.
Adult movie to kid. And it's kind of funny that as the closer we get to the end of the movie, the more such instances you'll see. So it literally feels not just that this film itself is a transition, but also within the film itself, you see a transition. It starts off a lot more like for adults, and then kind of...
I like how now it's not just the panels. They suddenly have all that walkway up there. Unless that was, like, attached to the dome.
I would imagine.
So we're going to put a bunch of dead people in there.
But again, I like how they're using kind of the biology of the kaiju to kind of, again, essentially they're baiting it the way you would be like, when you're trying to catch like a big wild animal that's loose like in a populated area. A lot of times whether they're trying to trap it or kill it, they got to lure it out. And sometimes the best way to do that is to lure it, bring it to you.
Yeah.
Even though it's like, well, you know where it is.
We don't have your cows. It's a little late for that, guys. Is it because you're worried about being destroyed by a giant monster now?
Why are you guys so worried about the damn road?
I know.
It's
because they're like, we don't have any faith in you. We just want to get out while we can.
That surprises anyone here.
Mm-hmm. Would they really just let civilians in like that anyways?
Again, this is the kid movies. I know I keep saying that. I know I sound like a broken record, but like I said, I mean...
You just push you in the traffic.
When you make films for a younger audience, it's not always even just, hey, put kids at the heart of it. It's also... The way you tell the story is a bit more... Jeez. But the way you tell the story is... You kind of have to interpret the situation the way a child would. As adults, we're saying, okay, these people would be evacuated, these people would not be here, this person would not be worried about this while this is happening. But a kid might not break it down like that. They would just kind of more or less probably view the situation as if things would continue on as normal, but how would people react with this happening? Again, people wouldn't be reacting at all. They'd be gone. These places would be evacuated. Yeah. A kid might be like, well, this is home, so how would people react if there was a monster living in our backyard? So not thinking like, well, they'd probably be just leaving. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, how would I, if I knew something about the monster, I would want to go and tell the military people. Not thinking like, well, I wouldn't even be allowed to get near them because this whole place would be quarantined and closed off. That's my point. That's why even though right now it's all adults on screen, a lot of what is happening, how it's happening, and why it's happening is because of the way it was interpreted by almost for more like a child, where it's like, you know what I mean? A kid would never have thought of this.
Yeah.
Because a kid would have never been in a position where he could tell them this, nor would they had taken him with any kind of seriousness anyway. But this is all happening because they did. And that's where you see, okay, a film that is geared more towards younger audiences, where even if the kid who is not right now the protagonist in the scene is unfolding because of kind of, the way it is because of him.
So here's my question. What did they make to smell and taste like artificial blood that's like a weird powder? And they made it in like, what, a day? Not even?
Ingenuity. Again, I'm not going to fault them for that. Remember Gojira when they had the towers they erected in a few hours?
Yeah, I know.
I'm just saying. Things like that, I give these movies a pass because, again...
We need our quick fix. Then again, look at that sinkhole in Japan. It was fixed within 24 hours. Meanwhile, it takes America like...
Yeah,
a year.
To be fair, if there was ever a country that could devise any of this stuff overnight, it would be Japan. So maybe we should just shut up.
They'd be like, let's get it done. Meanwhile, America's like,
yeah, maybe we should.
We don't want to pay taxes, so we can't afford this.
We should just give props for its due.
Right? He's like, what's that I smell? A buffet for me.
Why does he sound like a snooty asshole?
Because that's my kaiju voice, apparently.
That's your kaiju voice. Okay, good to know.
He's like, yes, I will have some of this. Meanwhile,
the monster's just ravaging the town.
Throwing up the fake blood.
If I had a nickel, every time in my personal life I found myself needing to say, turn up the fake blood.
That looks pink.
Kids movie.
It's clearly fake because, again, they're just in a fucking dome. That looks so flimsy. That's not going to save you from Gyaos.
What are they thinking? You fools! What were you thinking? You will never be safe from Gyaos.
There's no deck to hit. Did you see one guy had a gun pointing up towards the ceiling? The fuck that's gonna do?
He's gonna go out like a G.
La da 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 da. Some motherfucking D-O-double-G. Snoop Dogg. I just want to see those sunglasses rise down on Gyaos' face, though. Thug life. That's our next series we should make. Thug life kaiju moments.
Thug life kaiju moments.
Dessert time.
Wow.
Actually, it's more like a hookah bar, isn't it?
Wow.
I'm dying.
Before it looked like Gyaos was just like vaping.
Yeah. Vape Nation, bro.
Vape Nation, bro. That's for you, Chris. You beautiful, beautiful bastard. Seriously, is Gyaos getting like high off this shit? Look at him.
He is. Remember?
Okay, so essentially they just made a giant bong for Gyaos. Like, let's be real.
Look at it.
Let's be honest about what we're looking at right
I
now.
know. I'm so high.
So they launch Gamera into space, and they just get Gyaos baked out of his mind.
Oh my god.
Toho's got maser cannons. Dai just makes big ass
Oh my
bombs.
god, he's tripping. He is tripping balls. I don't know. That looks like trouble to me. Oh, shit.
I'm sure it's fine.
Gyaos, you fat ass! I'd be like, dude, I just told you it's 3 minutes. Like, give it a damn second. Don't turn down the drugs. Jesus Christ.
Trying to defeat Gyaos with an overdose of glaucoma medication. Is it legal where they're at? I don't know.
What? Pot? It's definitely not.
No, I'm just joking. I'm like, man, they sure got a lot of it.
No. Hey, that's their specially made Gyaos drugs.
The artificial blood. So it's like what? Steaming up that I take it, right? Because
Yes,
we saw it.
somehow turning into a gas. That's what I was saying. What the hell did they make that supposedly smells and tastes like blood?
I mean, I guess they can like make plasma artificially, so made a lot of it though. It must be like the entire like stocked supply of Japan.
There you go, ran out.
Oh, ow!
He is just so messed up right now. Oh. That sucks, huh?
God, he is. Damn! Look at that.
Look at the building said Highland. We should have known. It was a sign. He was gonna get high there. We should have seen it.
Oh,
Oh, now he's vaping. That's when he expels everything he vaped. Gross. Oh, look, he put out the fire.
That's great. He cleans up after himself.
I know. He's so nice.
He's the most thoughtful kaiju ever.
So much for your plan. You didn't say hi long enough. Camera, where the fuck are you, bro? You should have been there.
Yep. Should have used more weed. Oh, damn. That was the last of my stash, too, bro.
Maybe you should call Gamera up.
But see, a moment like that where the kid's like, oh, it's up to Gamera now. That's something where it's like, it's not, okay, they give the line to a kid because, again, they're trying to appeal to the kids. But it doesn't feel unrealistic that a kid would, you know what I mean, in a situation like that. That's what I'm saying, where this movie as a whole still does a lot of things where it feels very much still in tune with the first two films, where, again, a throwaway line like that is like, okay, it's the difference between, like, an adult saying it versus a kid. It's like, okay, give the line to the kid. All right, great. But he's not saying anything that probably nobody there was thinking, you know what I mean?
This is why you don't listen to people. Just say. Can't be reasonable when you just made us lose all that money.
Jeez. It's like, did he leave this...
I'll call Gamera down on you. He's my friend.
Did he leave all his toys right there in a pile for that exact purpose, just to throw at people?
He collected them all to throw at them. But please, fuck off.
I know, right?
Please, fuck off. I can't even talk.
She goes inside. Out comes Clint Eastwood with a shotgun. Get off my lawn. Like, oh, shit.
We didn't get rich either, guys.
She's really pretty.
Mm-hmm. You say that about every Japanese lead we see in this movie.
What can I say? I'm a simple man. Hey, I like what I see.
I can appreciate a beautiful lady, too. That's all I'm saying. What about the rest of my toys, Grandpa? God!
Goddamn kid.
He just chucks them back at him. Fuck you and your plan! You ungrateful turd. I don't think it works that way. That's a great
Start a
idea.
forest fire. Smokey the Bear, somewhere going, excuse me?
Okay, kid, why don't you say this when you had your fucking blood plan, okay? With the spitting, you could have had him catch on fire there.
Kid, have you ever started to think... I love how everyone's listening to, like, okay, the blood plan. First of all, that was based off a kid's idea. It's like...
Well, technically the blood part of it came from the adults, but the spinning part was...
Yeah, but still, it's like, this kid is kind of like,
I know.
0 for 0 here. So I'm just like, I know. Let's set everything on fire. Let's literally cause more destruction than the goddamn monsters. So let me get this straight. They live in the shadow of a volcano, a giant flying fire-breathing turtle, and a giant laser-shooting bat monster. They really, really need to move. Like, why the hell would you want to build a road through here? Like, who the hell would want to go here? He may be right.
I think that's debatable.
But again, it is this notion, too, of, like, us kind of almost like treating, like, the good, quote-unquote good kaiju as kind of like more like a biological weapon, or kind of relying them more on a big gun. It's like, you create a scenario where they will not help but be able to do what you need them to do.
Yeah.
And I guess so it's kind of a clever way of, like, you know, dealing with one threat.
So why are they knocking down trees if they're going to catch it on fire? Are they knocking down the trees around so it doesn't continue spreading?
I think so, yeah. They're trying to take control. I would hope so. They would want to burn down the entire place.
Yeah. Wow. Boom. Surprise, motherfucker.
And Dokes just pops out.
Well, that's great. It's gonna fucking die from all the smoke first.
But don't forget though, Gyaos can put out flames.
True. I guess that's why they showed the powder before.
But again, you're hoping that's what he's gonna do. I guess, yeah. I mean, what else did he do?
Well, as long as Gamera gets there first, right?
Well, I think that's the idea. Set the flames, then let Gyaos put him out, and hopefully that was long enough for, you know, Gamera to show up.
Gamera's got his, like, little app on his phone that's like, where's the fire today? Looks like there's a yummy buffet on the mountain. Let's go.
It's like his Tinder app.
Tinder's completely different.
Oh, well, I don't know.
I don't even know what Tinder is. I just know people swipe left or right, and it's like a way to meet people. It's like
well, maybe that's, you know, that's how he sees if it's his kind of fire. He looks at the fire and is like, nah, I'm not feeling this forest fire.
Maybe.
It's not a...
Like, I don't appreciate this. I'm trying to nap. Get my beauty sleep. Jeez, stop vaping, bro. It's not good for you.
Kind of mentioned they made it come out of his stomach.
I know.
It's a curious, but then again, given his anatomy, I guess it makes...
It came, excuse you, Gamera isn't an it? I think he's a he.
No, he's a he.
Well, Ichi is insensitive, calling him an it. Rude. Classic child.
Gyaos just like, oh, God.
Why are you back? I don't want to regrow my toes again. Gamera's just like, you motherfuckers, I just wanted to come eat. I didn't want to come fight.
Gyaos just kind of looks over it.
I know.
It is weird, though. Like, Gamera kind of becomes, like, a big gun in these movies. Like, he really doesn't... The movies aren't really about him anymore. It's like...
Yeah.
It's very much, we have a problem with another monster, and then Gamera shows up. Which, again...
It's like the cleanup crew.
Yeah, and there have been plenty of Godzilla movies that do the same thing. Gamera... Godzilla versus Megalon, that's literally all he is in that movie. Same thing with, like, Godzilla and Final Wars. Even 2014 Godzilla is basically that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's a problem with another monster, and then they show up like...
You got a problem? Yo, I'll solve it.
I wasn't going to do that.
I'm not a good person, so this is what I'm here for, right? You're here for the kaiju knowledge, and I'm just along for the ride, guys. Oh, why does it look like he's like... It's like, I'm gonna get you. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna mount you. What?
Gyaos is like, no, means no.
Why did it turn into this? This is a children's movie. This is the video they showed children in Japan about consent. Gyaos is not consenting, guys. Know the difference.
Yeah, look how Gamera mauls monsters.
Yeah. That's the thing, though. Theoretically, I can't even talk. Theoretically, if you bite his wings off, he can't fly, right? Oh. For a second, I thought that was Gamera's jaw, and I was like, what the fuck? He's like,
just took a chunk out of him.
I was gonna say, it's like Gyaos
forgot
he had slicer
duck and
powers.
weave, dodge and weave. Look at him.
And then he falls. That must have been hard on the actor to do this. So, ow!
Ooh. Shut up!
Your yelling doesn't help me. Oh, I'm dead. I'm dead because you sliced my tail.
Seriously, that is a devastating attack, though, that beam. I know.
It just looks like his anus is bleeding.
Oh.
My anus is bleeding. Does anybody remember that?
Anyone?
Bueller. That looks like a statue. He's so majestic. He's like, check out my kill.
He's strong, though. To carry Gamera like that.
Boom.
Now it's just insult to injury at this point.
Even though, here's my problem with this. That turtle shell is not to scale. Like, it's too small.
Well...
From the suit.
Yeah, they need to... Well, Gamera can pull himself into it, not just...
No, I know, but the shell is too small in general compared to how he was before. When it was the actual suit. Oh. Maybe he's just trying to...
Seriously, stop being there.
I know. He's trying to do some Mario action here with the shells. That's what I feel like.
Ow.
Oh! Dude, that's fucking rude. At least let me get out first.
Oh, look at him.
He's trying to gouge his eyes out. Or should I say, Gyaos his eyes out?
Oh, wow. She went there, folks. You heard it here first.
Jesus Christ. Is this what you get for not consenting, Gamera?
Ooh.
Oh. Why didn't you do that when he was holding you? Spit out the rock. There you go, buddy.
Boom. I like how these guys fight dirty, too.
I know, right?
Sweeping the leg like that. Yeah, Gamera's a really, even despite him flying, he's really like he's a submission fighter.
There you go, just lay on him until the sun comes up. Oh, shit. Or gouge his neck out brutally.
Kids' movies.
I guess if you've seen nature documentaries...
But again, that's my point. Look at this. This is brutal as hell. The closest thing you really see to this in Godzilla is when he killed Anguirus. And it was in black and white, and it was not this brutal.
Mm-hmm. He's just trying to give him a good back massage. It's fine. It's okay.
But again, Gamera's way of killing the monsters is kind of to help the humans. You remember when Gamera fought Barugun, it was the same kind of thing, where Gamera kind of ends up being the last piece, of
it's weird to see him do that with his head out, holding him down.
He flies sometimes with his head out.
Does he? I don't remember seeing it much.
Or he will start doing it.
Oh, back into the lava. Because Mount Fuji erupted. Right? He's like, no, I'm just going to tease you. This is just the foreplay.
Again, just dragging him in there.
That is pretty awesome.
Again,
he's like, no, I don't want to go.
It's so brutal. Gamera's like, I'm going to take you take you straight to hell.
That's awesome. The final last ray.
Dragging them into the ocean, dragging them into lava. It's like, yeah, you just pull. There's something so kind of final and very kind of just brutal about it. Like, Gamera just pulls you down into your own hell, basically.
Thank God that monster attacked. Now these guys are willing to let us do our work. So thanks to the small child, without him, we clearly couldn't have overcome this giant monster. You behave really terribly, kid.
Get used to this, folks. Won't be the last time we see an underage protagonist.
Oh man!
Oh man!
Song.
Getting some flashback action. So it's kind of the end of an era for Gamera and the start of a new one. I like now it kind of feels more like a celebration, if you will, of like who Gamera. Again, they're really kind of now touting Gamera as a superhero, and he really feels like a superhero now. Again, first film he was based a villain. Second film, which we're seeing some stuff from right now, there's Baragon.
Gone.
You know, he was more or less like the lesser of the two evils. It is kind of funny how they do it like this, make it like a retrospective almost. How they're showing you violent. Again, I love the music, but look at the imagery as he's like goring another monster's neck and like drowning him, like cities in flames, giant hellacious monsters breathing fire.
He's casting fire magic because the way he waves his hand when he like blows it. It's like fire magic. Why did they flip that? Do you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Just in case you forgot.
Yeah, we just saw this movie, but let's look back at it.
So, despite it having kind of a violent end, really, you see I kind of wonder if this was done a little bit more purposely, just kind of give it a bit more of a lighter send-off.
There we go. The end.
After all that beautiful violent imagery.
Lava.
And here's some lava.
It's funny because they brought it back to the same scene they used for the opening title screen.
Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace!
Peace!